This is another video dealing with matching up a subwoofer with the S1 Pro. I just want to state at the beginning, this is the original S1 Pro, not the newer S1 Pro Plus. So we got the S1 Pro that's still being sold alongside the new S1 Pro Plus at $500 instead of the $650 for the Plus model. So the S1 Pro I've had for a while, and I've done quite a few videos on it, matching it up with subwoofers, and my conclusion is any subwoofer will improve the S1 Pro. It's a 6.5 inch woofer, which really isn't ideal for bass response, and if you do try to push the S1 Pro to its max, you're going to hear that woofer bottoming out, and it doesn't sound pleasant. You'll want to turn it down. So if you can connect it to any kind of subwoofer, even something as cheap as a $200 subwoofer like a PreSonus 8, which I've done a video about, you might want to go back and see. It really makes a lot of difference. It adds full range sound, where the S1 Pro has a really nice high end, some nice smooth mids. It's a speaker that throws, I believe, 120 degrees, so that one little speaker will fill a large space. It's famous for a busking speaker, 15 pounds, and it's been out all these years. I believe it's been out 6 years, since 2018, and it's still very, very, very popular. So, but the object of this video is just one more subwoofer that I have in my home, and I've never tried this matching before, and I gave it a try this morning, and it's good. It's really good. So, what are we talking about? This is the Roland KCW-1. This subwoofer has been out, I'm just guessing, I'm thinking from the year 2000, so 24 years ago. It might be older, who knows. It's originally made to match it up with the Roland KC series of keyboard amplifiers, which I do have one. I have a KC 550 upstairs, and to add some more low end to it. And as you can see, it has 2 ports. It has a blinking light, and that blinking light is something I want to explain. The blinking light means it's off because it has a foot switch. It has an external foot switch that is right here. And this is a Fender foot switch, and it's really inexpensive. I believe it's about $20. And so from the listening position across the way, you can disengage the sub. So right now it's blinking, that means it's off. When I click it twice and you see a solid light, that means the subwoofer is engaged. I really like that because I'm able to not use a mixer. I like to be able to use a mixer where I can control the gain of the subwoofer off and on, but having this foot switch really makes all the difference. I don't need that mixer. Now, most subwoofers that have a external foot switch like this are usually studio subwoofers. This Roland is not a studio subwoofer. This is an instrument subwoofer. So this is pretty unique to have this. So let's talk about the Roland. It's a 10-inch subwoofer, 200 watts, and it was selling for $450. It's not available anymore. You can probably pick it up on eBay though. I've seen them for $350 on eBay. It's not light. It's a heavy solid cube, 50 pounds. It's really dead weight. And what's kind of interesting about this sub, if you look at it, it's the old style. It has the furry exterior. I don't know why they did that. I guess it was just for looks. But it has a handle on top. It does not have any kind of cup to mount a subwoofer pole. So again, I don't think the rationale behind this subwoofer was to mount tops on. Like I said, it was originally made to augment the KC line of keyboard amps. I'm running my top, the Bose S1 Pro, at about 130 on the gain, and that's about as loud as I can get it without that red light clipping. So there'll be no clipping here, and just to tell you right off the bat, I was able to get 99 dB before clipping. So that's good, but it's not, incredible. It's not going to fill an outdoor space, but 99 dB of clear, clean sound from a 15-pound speaker is what makes the Bose S1 Pro so popular. One of the things I learned from my testing was when you do add a subwoofer, it does make all the difference in the world as far as sound signature. Like I mentioned, it gives you that full range sound. Full range means your small top, be it a 6.5-inch top in this case, or a 10-inch top, gives you that really sweet, clean high end, but it's missing the low end. So full range means the subwoofer is filling in all those frequencies that the top is missing. And in case of a PA sub, that usually goes down to about 40 hertz, where the top rolls off, I don't know, maybe a 60. So you're missing a lot when you just go with the top. So the misconception I'm trying to get to is I've always thought when you add a subwoofer, you're going to get a whole bunch more room-filling dBs or max volume, and I was very wrong. So as I mentioned, the top, the S1 Pro here, 99 dB max before clipping, and then when you add the subwoofer, here's the shocker, it only went up to 99.6 dB. Even though it has room shaking bass at this point, it's still, the volume didn't go up much. So you're adding just a hair on the dBs. So I always tell people adding a subwoofer is not gonna fill a larger audience. It's going to make the audience very happy and they're ready to dance, but it's not going. You're not going to go from 150 people. Actually, in the case of the S1 Pro, we're talking 50 people. You're not going to add the subwoofer. It's not going to be 150 people. It's not like that. So, but something that you should be aware of. As I mentioned, this particular subwoofer is not available anymore. So I just want to go over a couple of options if you like this idea and you like the sound. Mainly I'm going to be talking about a subwoofer that is in this price range and has this foot switch that I think is so great, that the fact that you can engage it and disengage it without a mixer. It's really nice to be able to dial in a subwoofer with this kind of engagement and disengagement. So I've done videos about a studio sub. See, most studio subs have the foot switch. Most PA subs do not. So a studio sub that does have it, and I've done a video about, is the KRK-10S. Check that out. I believe it's $450. The problem with the KRK-10S right now is it doesn't have a grill. The previous model had a grill, and now the new model does not have a grill. So I wouldn't be too comfortable about that. Someone walks by and actually kicks it in, there goes your woofer. So a new subwoofer that just came out, again, studio subwoofer with pretty good specs. Never heard it, but I'm just gonna throw it out there. That's for people that are interested in this type of setup. And that is the Kali Audio. I'll give the link down below. It's called the WS6.2, $500. It has two 6.5-inch woofers. It puts out 400 watts, 120 dB, which is pretty healthy. It goes down to 27 hertz. Now that's a good figure. That's what makes it a studio subwoofer, where a live sound subwoofer goes down to usually only 40. And it's 31 pounds. So that sounds pretty interesting. Like I said, never heard it. I'll be comparing it to my live sound sub, which is my lightest, which is 36-pound Bose Sub 1 at $900. So that Kali Audio at $500 sounds interesting. And the last sub I just want to throw out there that's available, again, never heard it. It's very new, just came out. It's the Kali Audio WS12, 12-inch subwoofer. Puts out 123 dB. That's getting very close, if not equal, to the Bose Sub 1. I believe the Sub 1 does about 125, 124. It's $800. So again, it's a little cheaper than the Bose Sub 1, but it goes down to 23 hertz. So it kind of does double duty as a studio subwoofer and a live subwoofer, live PA subwoofer. I would be very interested in that if I didn't have all kinds of gear. It does have a pole mount for a top. So that's an interesting subwoofer. The downsize of the WS12, it's 58 pounds. That's getting heavy already in my book. That's pushing my Bose Sub 2 weight. So I'll put the links down below for those two. And again, both of those subwoofers have the external foot switch. I just want to mention the foot switch has to be bought separately, but it's inexpensive at $20. So here we go. We're going to do a quick sound demo. When you see the light flashing, that means the subwoofer is off. When I double click it with my foot, the subwoofer is engaged. So get ready. We'll do a quick sound demo. And I do want to mention bass does not translate very well on YouTube because of my recording equipment. People say, why don't you get a better microphone? Well, sorry, I don't want to spend too much on these videos. I don't get a lot of money from these videos, actually, very little. I'm just doing it for fun. And I don't want to spend, hundreds of dollars on recording gear for YouTube. I would rather purchase other speakers. So here we go, quick sound demo. Let's start with the subwoofer off. Double click it, and the light is flashing. Subwoofer is disengaged. So here's our max dB with sub, 99.8. Not too bad, but again, the S1 Pro, you're not going to fill a large space, especially outdoors. People who use it for busking, they're trying to reach a smaller crowd. People are close to the speaker. If you do want to get a better speaker for louder, I recommend the EV eVerse 8, but that is not the subject of this video. So there's a foot switch, Fender foot switch. I kind of wrap it in plastic because I use it outdoors. It's on the ground. I don't want all that mud and dust in there. And that's an inexpensive dB meter I bought. It's not so accurate, but you get the idea that the Bose S1 Pro is not going to fill a huge space. I want to emphasize when I got that dB reading of a little less than 100 dB, that's real world testing. If you look at the spec sheet from Bose, it'll say the S1 Pro can put out 103 dB. I've never gotten that figure. The new S1 Pro Plus, they're claiming 106, a little more power. But anyway, this is real world testing where I got that 99.8 figure. I'm sitting back about 4 meters from the top with the dB meter, and I'm in the home, inside a home. Remember, outside you're gonna get a lot less even. And the home has very high ceilings, and I'm in an open living room situation. So this is kind of like a real world situation, a gigging. If you're in a restaurant, it's gonna be open. Some places have high ceilings, that makes it even more challenging. People always ask, and I'm glad to give a quick tutorial on how to set this up. So the best way to do this is to run a mixer into the subwoofer, and then from the subwoofer out to the input of the tops. But because of the S1 Pro doesn't have the latest technology, you're going to lose Bluetooth if you do it that way. And my whole rationale behind portable PA is to use Bluetooth. So I'm going from the line out, and that is right here. And this is the cable I'm using. This is called TRS. If you notice the 2 hash marks, if you use a regular guitar cable with 1 hash mark, you're going to lose about 6 dB of gain, and you don't want to do that. So I'm going from the line out, and then I'm going to my subwoofer. The other side of the subwoofer is an input, and that's XLR male. And that's it. 1 cable, XLR male, input, and you're ready to go. So let's wrap this video up. S1 Pro, a lot of people have it. I think a lot of people don't realize how much better you can make it by adding a subwoofer. Here I added a subwoofer that I had around the house from 25 years ago, and it made I hope you heard it, the difference. It made an incredible difference. So a lot of people have subwoofers, but then again, it does take away the portability. It's not battery operated. So if you did want to take this to a gig, you're gonna have to have AC, or you're gonna have to bring some kind of external power. And I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, running in a subwoofer with an external power source, you're gonna need at least 400 watts. I usually use 600 watts, and that's kind of that unit. My EcoFlow Pro is 15 pounds. So that kind of defeats the purpose. But again, hope you heard the difference. Adding a subwoofer to the little S1 Pro makes a huge difference. If you're willing to stick around 99 to 100 dB, the S1 Pro is still a great solution. If you need louder, there's all kinds of tops out there that will take it to the next level. Hope you enjoyed this video. This is Bill. Later.